A few days later, in his private office, Wu Chen stretched wearily. Captain Ning, I've watched all the surveillance footage related to Zhang Zihao. Now I have a few useful leads. Hearing this, Ning Chen rushed over in surprise. What? All that surveillance material? You finished watching it in just 2 days. In front of Wu Chen were dozens of small screens, but with just him alone, it would be hard for anyone else to keep up. Wu Chen just chuckled and replied, "Ha ha, I had the speed turned up, but honestly, it's just bragging." He was actually relying on the system to fast forward through the footage. With this much video, no ordinary person could have finished it in 2 days. Even though I've gone through it over and over, I have to admit, Zhang Zihao is no easy character. He's been hiding everything so carefully, not leaving a single opening. Ning Chen asked, "So, do you have a direction for the investigation now?" Wu Chen continued, "If we just focus on Zhang Zihao, it will be very hard for us to find any solid evidence." She looked confused. "Then, what are the leads you found over the past 2 days?" Wu Chen confidently said, "A man's biggest weakness is his wife. The woman I'm talking about is So Union, the young wife who's 20 years younger than him and is completely spoiled. Zhang Zihao gives Su Union a lot of financial freedom, but she hardly interacts with others. This shows she's being controlled by Zhang Zihao. They call her his wife, but she looks more like one of those girls who are kept by rich men. If you look at her on the street camera, you'll see she dresses very provocatively, craving attention but unable to express herself freely. Making a move through her is definitely the right choice." Ning Chen, a little curious, asked, "Living in such a controlled environment for so long, Su Union must know her place, but do you think she could be swayed?" Wu Chen, who had always understood Widden's minds like the back of his hand, replied confidently, "I have a way. All Ning Captain has to do is cooperate with me a little." When she heard the word cooperate, meaning becoming teammates, she was completely confused and a bit embarrassed. She responded, "Cooperate? Isn't that what we're doing right now?" The scene shifts to the next day. Ning Chen is getting a shoulder massage, feeling completely relaxed. Meanwhile, at some gym, Wu Chen approaches like a true simp, moving from massaging her shoulders to her thighs, speaking in an overly familiar tone. "Ning Chen, are you tired? Let me help you relax your muscles. I felt so sorry for you when I saw you lifting so heavy earlier." Ning Chen, looking distant and cold, clearly irritated, snaps, "Stop taking advantage of this moment. We don't have anything between us anymore. Why do you keep following me around like a dog? It's so annoying." The noise from their argument catches the attention of Su Union. Wu Chen continues to beg, trying to show his sincerity. "Ning Chen, it's my fault. I gave you all the money I made. I really don't have anything left for you and your boyfriend to go out." "Ning Chen, I wasn't trying hard enough. I'll change. Please believe me." She gets frustrated and yells, "Stop talking nonsense. You don't trust me at all. Now you want to cling to me and beg? We're done. Go your own way." But as she watches Wu Chen act so dramatically, she feels conflicted. What is this bizarre situation? Ning Chen kicked her phone hard and shouted angrily, "Don't bother me anymore. Kevin is coming to pick me up soon. You can stay here and play by yourself. You're so pathetic." The iPhone 16 Pro Max flew through the air and landed a short distance away. In the sadness of a heartbroken boy, Wu Chen could only call after her, barely managing to say her name, Ning Chen. Su Union quickly picked up the phone and brought it to him. "Hey, you dropped this." Wu Chen glanced at her briefly, his eyes filled with sorrow as he quietly muttered 2 words, "Just this moment." Su Union blushed deeply, struck by a feeling that seemed like love at first sight. She felt like she had just met a version of her own past, someone who reminded her of the carefree days of youth. Seeing Wu Chen's situation now was so similar to the one she had been in before. It made Su Union fall into a quiet reflection. Years ago, her first boyfriend had loved her with the same passion, but she had chosen her current husband for the sake of the future. She felt a pang of regret and walked away. If I could turn back time, would I still make the same choice? Wu Chen was still lost in sorrow, calling out Ning Chen softly. The next day, at the same time in the gym, Su Union arrived and immediately saw Wu Chen. She thought to herself yesterday, that guy. What's he planning to do with all that extra weight? Over on his side, Wu Chen had his eyes closed as he was loading weights, clearly pushing himself to the limit. He got into position for a deadlift, but lifting the barbell was incredibly difficult. Su Union, worried, thought, why is he pushing himself so hard when he can barely lift it? You can't just force it in the gym like this. If he keeps going like this, he'll hurt his lower back. She quickly stepped in and stopped him, saying, "Hey, you should take it slow. If you push too hard like this, you could end up injuring yourself. Training is about progress, not just brute force." But he gripped the bar tightly, his face filled with sadness as he replied, "I want to tear my muscles apart. That way the physical pain will temporarily drown out the pain in my heart." Just those words struck Su Yunyan right to her core. It reminded her of something her ex-boyfriend had said to her. Do you know, no matter how much pain my body feels, it'll never be as bad as the pain in my heart, Yunyan. Suddenly, she got angry and yelled, what are you talking about? I won't let you keep hurting yourself like this. He was completely stunned, grabbing her hand. For the next 2 weeks, Su Yunyan guided Wu Chen through his gym workouts, adjusting every little detail of his technique, which she knew so well. She helped him get past his frustration. As Wu Chen started to regain his spirit, he began using online resources to teach Su Yunyan some exercises. They continued to support and motivate each other. At one point, Wu Chen, looking tired, took off his jacket, revealing a muscular body like a world-class athlete. Sitting next to him, Su Yunyan couldn't hide her admiration, her eyes glued to him. She spoke up, you really have a great body. I can't believe you've achieved this much in such a short time. Wu Chen handed her a drink and replied, it's all thanks to my great coach. Flattered by the compliment, Su Yunyan blushed and simply said, thank you. Wu Chen then asked, Yunyan, I wouldn't have gotten out of my dark place without you. I'd like to invite you to dinner. Would you do me the honor? Yunyan lowered her gaze, feeling that her circumstances wouldn't allow it. She replied, I'm afraid I can't. Wu Chen responded with a sorrowful look. I understand. Someone like you could never go eat with me, right? Yunyan instinctively hurried to explain, it's not like that. It's not what you think. It's because of my husband. Wu Chen awkwardly laughed and said, ah, so it's your husband. Well, in that case, he pulled a donut and a bottle of water out of his bag and offered them. We could just eat right here together. Consider it a meal together. Seeing this scene, Yunyan's eyes widened in nostalgia. Even the innocent smile on his face reminded her of the boy from back then, the one who had been by her side. She couldn't help but be flooded with memories of their school days, and suddenly, tears began to fall without her even realizing it. Wu Chen spoke up, Yunyan, why are you crying? Did I do something wrong, or have you been overworking yourself? Cho Yunyan broke down in emotion, crying loudly. She wrapped her arms tightly around Wu Chen, not wanting to let go. Wu Chen, too, embraced her, gently comforting her. Yunyan, it's okay. If you want to cry, lean on me. Cry as much as you need. Wu Chen then shifted his approach. The innocence was gone from his face, replaced by a smile full of calculation. He had succeeded in his first step, winning Su Yunyan over. It was no surprise to many of the guys. At this moment, Su Yunyan's soft, barely controlled moans could be heard as she tried to keep them at a level just loud enough to be heard. Her legs were shaking from having to stand on tiptoe for so long. By the time Wu Chen helped her with some physical therapy exercises to stretch her muscles, she could no longer hold back. About 40 minutes later, they finished their session and sat together to chat, shoulders touching, heads close together. Wu Chen spoke up, Yunyan, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I've got too carried away and forgot about myself. She shyly replied, Wu Chen, I'm not blaming you. I volunteered for this, so no need to apologize. Excited, she complimented him. I never expected you, looking so innocent, to be so good at this. You've made me reach levels that the books describe. He, looking a little embarrassed, said, stop, don't tease me like that. Indeed, he played the role of the innocent lamb so well. Any guy watching would think Wu Chen had just been thrown into this situation. Su Yunyan continued, I'm serious. I believe that once a woman has experienced this, she'll never be able to let go of you. Wu Chen, with a guilty expression, responded, Yunyan, but what about your husband? She immediately turned her face away, clearly not wanting to listen. Don't mention him. Wu Chen could only say 2 words, I'm sorry, at that moment. Though it wasn't entirely sincere, it was enough to make Su Yunyan fall silent and lost in thought for a while. It felt like they both had so much unsaid, so many things bottled up inside. She too sank into her thoughts and said a little, my husband is 20 years older than me. Honestly, I don't have any real feelings for him. I married him for the material comforts. She suddenly laughed and asked, what's the matter? Do you suddenly look down on me now? Wu Chen quickly responded, no, no way. Of course not. She continued, my husband is the high-level expert in the field of aviation engines. When I was still in school, he was my professor. Back then, I admired him completely. Because of that, I gave up my first love without a second thought. Her expression grew more and more somber. At first, our relationship was fine, but in recent years, I've realized he's become more and more strange. Normally, people who do research like him might be a little eccentric, but he's just too odd now. Wu Chen listened with growing curiosity and asked, what do you mean by strange? She blushed, clearly reluctant to say it, but he was already over 50 years old, and yet there were times in the middle of the night when he secretly wore her clothes and went outside. How else could you describe that if not strange? Wu Chen felt a chill down his spine, almost as if the guy wanted to challenge someone to a duel. wearing women's clothes. Could that be the reason the surveillance cameras never picked up on it? She had asked him why he did that once. He said it was to relieve stress, but ever since finding out, she had grown more distant from him. Getting into the rhythm of the conversation, Wu Chen asked, when did he start doing this? She thought for a moment and replied, probably about 3 or 4 years ago. And over time, he also started limiting my social interactions. Now I barely have any friends left. Wu Chen asked, so, before going out in women's clothes, did he act any differently? Xiao Union said, it seems like he always received a phone call before he left, but he never answered it. I'm not sure if that's always the case. But seeing Wu Chen asking more and more questions, she grew confused and asked, but Wu Chen, why are you so interested in him? Aren't you? Wu Chen looked completely stunned, his face blank with confusion. He stammered, I'm not interested. She pointed straight at him and asked bluntly, you're not gay, right? Wu Chen. It was the first time in his life anyone had ever asked him if he was gay. Wu Chen's face went blank like a deer caught in the headlights, and he didn't know how to respond. He gently brushed her cheek, almost as a challenge. Union, do you still want me to prove it? Do you need me to do another round? She shyly pushed him away and replied, no, if we keep going, I'll break my back. Wu Chen sighed in relief like a bird finally freed from a cage. We're going a bit fast, he muttered. She quickly stood up, ready to leave. It's getting late. I have to go. After all, I still have a husband, even if it's just on paper. He stood up gallantly. Union, let me walk you out. But she stopped him and gave him a gentle kiss on the forehead as a goodbye. Then she spoke. No need, Wu Chen. Once I'm out of here, we might as well pretend we've never met. But I am looking forward to seeing what you can really do next time. Wu Chen. And with that, she was gone, leaving him alone in the room silent. Suddenly, Ying Chen's sarcastic voice rang out. Truly a pair of ill-fated lovers, one hopeless man left behind, and one woman desperate for true love, also abandoned. How touching. Wu Chen, not someone easily pushed around, responded. A woman who can't stay faithful, playing both sides. How's your little game with Kevin going? Ning Chen, not happy with his comment, ran down to retort, it's your ridiculous story idea in the first place, and you still make me play along with it. Wu Chen, pleased with himself, said, but you have to admit, this trick really worked, right, Captain Ning? She couldn't help but feel defeated by him. She had to say, you really do know how to handle women. Wu Chen asked, so, what's next? She replied, call me Captain Ning. Also, I already sent the information to headquarters asking the technicians to analyze the time and place where people dressed like Su Union were spotted. I've also asked them to trace back the person who made the missed call to Zhang Zihao, that old man over 50, dressed like a young woman. Even if the surveillance cameras didn't catch it clearly, there are still plenty of witnesses who saw him. This time, he won't be able to escape. Wu Chen, not quite following, asked, but if Zhang Zihao gets caught, what happens to Su Union? Ning Chen explained, if Su Union truly didn't know anything and wasn't involved, then it has nothing to do with her. The law will seize Zhang Zhihao's illegal assets, but his legal money is enough for Su Union to live comfortably for the rest of her life. She narrowed her eyes at him with suspicion. This charming young man really seemed to fall for everyone he met. Wu Chen didn't deny it. He just swallowed and muttered a soft, A few days later, at a high-end apartment building, Su Union was getting ready for bed, taking care of her skin. But when she heard footsteps approaching, she spoke up. Aren't you going to answer your phone? Zhang Zhihao's voice replied, sounding mysterious, no need. I'm just stepping outside to get some fresh air. As she watched him walk past her door, Su Union looked after him with a doubtful expression, questioning the meaning of life itself. But she didn't press him for an explanation. Even if she did, he would just make up an excuse to avoid answering. Zhang Zhihao was dressed in a way that seemed to hide him from the world, wearing a pirate-like hat and a long coat, like he didn't want anyone to notice him. He quietly slipped on his high-heeled boots and went out into the night. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Su Union quickly got up to open it. She was curious and asked, you're usually gone for hours, but now you're back so soon. Did you forget something? But as soon as she opened the door, her face went pale with surprise. Oh my God, Wu Chen, what are you doing here at this hour? Wu Chen smiled warmly, his voice soft and affectionate as he replied, yeah, it's me. Still, Su Union couldn't help but feel uneasy. She said, why are you here? My husband just left. He could be back any minute. Wu Chen stepped in without needing an invitation, and he didn't forget to lock the door behind him. His voice was low as he said, her husband, he probably will be coming back. She looked at Wu Chen in a way that was completely different from their previous encounter. A sense of unease began to settle in, and she asked, what did he mean by that? Wu Chen told her the truth. He's suspected of leaking national secrets and is about to be arrested. To put it plainly, he's a spy planted in the government. But Sui Union still couldn't believe it. She raised her voice, clearly upset. What are you talking about? He's almost retired. How could he be a spy? Even though I don't have any personal feelings for him, I still disagree with that. He spent his whole life just doing scientific research. How could he possibly be a spy? At most, he's just someone with a weird, perverse hobby. Her gaze dropped. She thought about his strange habit of dressing in women's clothes at night and the calls he made before leaving. The more she argued, the more logical it all seemed. Her eyes widened in shock as she connected all the dots. Could it be true? Was he really a spy? Wu Shen gently pulled Union into his arms and called out warmly, Sister Union, seeing you like this, I feel reassured. You really didn't know anything at all. She seemed shaken, almost in a state of disbelief, and asked, Is all of this really true? He gently reassured her. The national security officers already have all the evidence. The arrest warrant has been issued. He'll be caught and face justice soon. The scene shifts to a lively nightclub, where a young man sits drinking and waiting for someone. At this moment, Ning Chen arrives with her team. She presents the identification documents of the national security team. Jiang Zihao, you are under arrest for suspected national security leaks. We ask for your cooperation and you'll receive leniency from the law. Officers, arrest him. He quickly pulls his hat down, and in a high-pitched fake female voice, he firmly denies it. Who is this Jiang Zihao? It's not me. You've got the wrong person. It's really not me. But Ning Chen wasn't about to let him get away with it so easily. She shouted loudly, Hurry up and grab him. The national security team rushed in to make the arrest. Seeing the action unfolding, Jiang Zihao couldn't just stand by and do nothing. He grabbed the bottle of liquor from the table and, in an attempt to resist, threw it directly at the security officers, forcing them to back off. If they hadn't, his life as a single man could have ended right there, courtesy of a few scars across his face. Zhang Zhihao quickly took the opportunity to escape. Ning Shen immediately led the chase, shouting, Hurry, catch him. Meanwhile, Su Union turned to question Wu Chen. Union asked, So, everything since we met, was I just approaching you with an agenda? Was all of this between us just a show? Just to help catch Jiang Zihao? Wu Chen was afraid that she would be hurt once she realized everything. That was why he had come here in the first place. Wu Chen gently wrapped his arm around her waist and responded, Fate brought us together this way, something that can't be changed. But my feelings for you are real, they aren't fake. Hearing the words from this charming, romantic guy, Union blushed and pushed him away. She didn't want to believe him and scoffed, You're really good at talking, aren't you? Wu Chen seemed genuinely serious about their relationship. He continued, Don't worry, I've checked. After Zhang Zhihao was arrested, you won't be affected since you're not involved in this. You can use this opportunity to start over. Union couldn't help but feel a little sorry for him. He clearly had money and success, yet he chose to be a spy. He was only hurting himself. She sighed. There had long been no feelings left between her and her husband. The only thing that had kept their marriage together was money. But now, with everything falling apart so suddenly, there was still a lingering, indescribable feeling in her heart. Wu Chen replied, Of course it's a big deal and so sudden. It's bound to be hard for anyone to adjust. Sui Union wrapped her arms around his shoulders and softly said, Wu Chen, do something. Help me forget about this just for a while. What do you need? This is right up my alley, Wu Chen said, moving in for a quick kiss. He pressed his lips to hers, adding a little energy with the kiss. Union didn't pull away. Meanwhile, on the other side, Zhang Zhihao was running for his life, desperately trying to escape from the security team and Ning Chen. No matter how badly his legs hurt, he kept running. If he got caught, all the hard work he put in over the years would be ruined. After their brief moment, Su Union and Wu Chen dove into their first round. He picked her up, and tonight, with just the two of them, Wu Chen planned to show all his strength and skills, helping her forget Zhang Zhihao completely. Elsewhere, the shiny silver bracelet was now on Ning Chen's wrist. With a single move, he was easily able to overpower Zhang Zhihao. The man was quickly thrown to the ground, utterly defeated as his life of crime came to an end. Now he'd have to make friends with prison bars and a calendar that would never mark his return. While he was restrained, his wife found herself in a similar situation. However, she appeared to react differently, showing a noticeable level of attention to Wu Chen's actions, which made her body tremble in response. Despite being in comparable circumstances, their expressions were starkly different. One showed clear signs of distress, while the other seemed to be more focused on what was happening. 2 hours later, after everything was resolved, Wu Chen left the area under the cover of night. Ning Chen immediately called him. Wu Chen, how's everything going on your side? How's the process of comforting the victim's family coming along? What? That's right up my alley. It's going smoothly. I meant that comforting them is going well. We can take statements anytime. Captain Ning, how's Zhang Ziehao holding up? She rubbed her temples and responded, I was just about to tell you. Don't be misled by his calm appearance. After his capture, he was extremely frightened, even losing control before we could get him to the station. He admitted to everything. It's simple. Someone introduced him to a woman, and the deeper he got involved, the more he had to buy her a house and a car. To keep his wife from finding out, he started selling sensitive national aviation data. The person who introduced the woman, who also acted as the middleman for the data sales and even helped him disguise himself, was all the same person, Xinglong. Hearing that name, Wu Chen quickly asked to make sure, What? Who did you say? Zhang Ziehao on the other end became incredibly scared when he heard the name. He begged, I was wrong. Please, I beg the organization to forgive me. Sniffle. Ning Chen's expression turned serious. Wu Chen probably hadn't heard of this name before, but he knew his little sister, who was in the same class with this guy, Ding Yingji, the cousin of Ding Duanlong. Right now, there was no direct evidence linking Xinglong and Ding Yingji, but given that Wu Chen had been falsely accused of being a spy, it seemed like there was some connection. Wu Chen, hearing all this, let out a lively laugh. Ah, no wonder everything's been pointing at me. Looks like it's time for me to fight back my secretive cousin, Ding Yingji. At that moment, Wu Chen was sitting alone in the break room, sipping a hot cup of tea, scrolling through his phone. Then he received a message from another world. Jen Yuan had gone into temporary hiding, which was a bit sad, but there was still work to be done. So, Wu Chen thought, as usual, he should start by investigating a little more into the background first and get back to his main work. Then, an image of a young man dressed very stylishly was sent to him. Wu Chen widened his eyes in surprise. Wait, is this Xinglong? Why does he look so familiar? He's trying to remember. Surely he's seen this face somewhere before. Wait a minute, isn't he the CEO from the early days of Infinite Investments? I clearly recall Linux's disgusted expression every time his name came up. A talented graduate from Harvard's economics department, he became famous on Wall Street right after finishing school. Then he took a risky leap to join the startup Infinite Investments, helping Lin Xi make a massive profit. It's safe to say that, thanks to Xinglong, Infinite Investments was able to establish itself on the market so quickly. But for some reason, he eventually turned against Lin Xi, and they went their separate ways. He slowly took a sip of tea and continued to reflect. The documents didn't mention why the two of them fell out, but I know Lin Xi pretty well. Thinking about my lover, a sense of excitement stirred within me. Meanwhile, Lin Xi was relaxing in the bathtub when her phone rang. Seeing the name Wu Chen on the screen, she didn't hesitate to answer. If he wanted, she would even open a video call. She spoke up, Wu Chen, you finally got in touch with me. You disappeared suddenly like that. Don't you think that's a bit much? Wu Chen could only laugh awkwardly. Ha ha, I've been a little busy lately. I'm sorry I haven't been able to pay more attention to you, but there's something I want to ask. She pouted and responded, I mean you'd only remember me when you need something. How rude. Wu Chen quickly tried to smooth things over. Don't be mad, I'll make it up to you. Whatever you need, I'll make it right. Hearing this, she finally calmed down a bit. Oh, so you have to keep your promise? I want 48 hours of close contact, she said. Upon hearing that she wanted to talk for 2 full days and nights, Wu Chen was a little scared and replied, I'll do my best. She then asked, Go ahead. Who do you want to ask about? Wu Chen's voice grew serious as he said the name. Xinglong. I want to know everything about him. Hearing that familiar name, the one she had wanted to forget, Lin Xi hesitated, finding it hard to speak. Is it him again? She asked. For a long moment, she then told Wu Chen everything she knew about Xinglong. After absorbing all the information about that guy, Wu Chen let out a soft exclamation of excitement. Is that so? All right, Lin Xi, I'll contact you after I'm done. The scene shifts 3 days later. One night in Maduo, the young man, Xinglong, was lying back, enjoying the cool, perfectly air-conditioned atmosphere. The sounds of cheering came from all around. All right, keep going, keep it up. At this moment, the air conditioner powered by rice was being patted on the head with great enthusiasm because it was working at full capacity. About 5 minutes later, the woman, somewhat dissatisfied, asked, Are you serious, big guy? Since the gun hadn't been maintained for a while, it was a bit jammed, and he felt insulted. He raised his voice. Could you be a little more serious? I was really focused just now. She suddenly cut him off. The girl immediately stopped what she was doing, jumped up, and retorted. Enough, it's been 2 periods already. If you can't handle it, then stop playing. You're hopeless, he snapped angrily. What did you just say? Are you saying I'm no good? You don't want the money anymore? Seeing that someone was trying to back out of the deal, the girl angrily shouted, Dan, are you losing it because you're frustrated? Huh, now, you want to cheat me out of my money? The too big guy calls echoed loudly. He wasn't planning to pay. From outside, a young man opened the door and walked in, looking huge with a fierce glare, and shouted, "Hey, punk, you think you can play and then refuse to pay?" The couple saw how big the guy was and felt intimidated, worried about getting beaten up, so they couldn't dare say a word. They shot him a look like bullets. Oh Sing-long didn't quite understand why his face suddenly turned bright red, but when he and the other guy looked down at his younger brother, something felt off. When his younger brother started getting excited seeing the big guy walk in and the girl kicked him in the leg. "Ha! If you're into this kind of thing, just say so earlier. As long as the money's right, my brother can do whatever you want." The older guy eagerly showed off his muscles, looking confident. As long as the younger brother was into it, he'd jump right in. The younger brother awkwardly pulled the towel up, clearly in a rush. All right, just go already." The girl extended her hand, demanding, "Hey, where's the money? Hand it over first, then we'll leave." The two of them were quickly kicked out. The guy threw the money at them, much more than they were expecting, and slammed the door shut behind them. The girl, counting the cash, lit up and said, "Boss, this guy seems pretty rich. You could do business with him again next time." The boss replied proudly, "Yeah, we'll see when that time comes." Inside the room, the young man, Oh Sing-long, was furious. He threw things around and yelled angrily, "Dan, who says I can't do this? It's just that you wouldn't cooperate." But then, thinking back to the leader's handsome, tough guy look from earlier, he bit his nail and muttered to himself, "But honestly, that guy wasn't bad." Suddenly, Wu Chen's voice came from behind. So, the conflict between Oh Sing-long and Lin Xtai is because they're fighting over a man? No wonder the information didn't mention it. He couldn't face his own feelings, so he tried to force himself back into the norm. No surprise, it's been so hard on him. Hearing the noise, Oh Sing-long turned around and shouted loudly, Who? Who dares sneak into my room? Oh, I mean, my office." Wu Chen, unfazed, just scoffed and replied, "Who am I? Doesn't matter. But let me put it this way. I'm here because of Ding Yingji." He frowned and asked, "Is it her? Did Ding Yingji send you?" Wu Chen, hands in his pockets, took slow steps forward. With a sly look in his eyes, he thought, did he misunderstand? Well, I'll just go with it. Wu Chen continued, "Let's put it this way. I'm here to help you with your problem. The spy you've been in contact with. Looks like he's being followed and is in some trouble. What's his name again? Zhang Zhaihao, right?" Oh Sing-long angrily shouted, "What? Zhang Zhaihao, that idiot, has exposed his whereabouts." Wu Chen spoke up, "His disguise as a woman is so terrible. I don't even know who he learned it from." Oh Sing-long quickly pulled out his phone to call him, needing to contact him immediately and tell him to stay low for a while. Wu Chen, who was standing next to him, just stared blankly, thinking this guy was unbelievably stupid. He spoke up to stop him. "Don't call them. If you call now, won't that just expose yourself?" Oh Sing-long hung up, muttering, "Yeah, you're right." He sighed, "I was too hasty." Wu Chen was at a loss for words, just sighing deeply. He thought to himself, I need to understand the relationship between him and Ding Yingji better. He's gay, so it's definitely not about romantic feelings. But the bond between them is so strong, he's even willing to use his spy connections to help her. That's not normal. Oh Sing-long asked, "How's Ding Yingji doing these days? She hasn't contacted me in a while." Wu Chen coldly replied, "She's fine. The reason she hasn't reached out is because she's been helping Ding Duanlong manage the company. She's been really busy." Upon hearing this, he suddenly became quiet, but the part below his waist did not. Wu Chen found it strange and wondered to himself, "Wait a second, did I just imagine that? The towel between his legs just moved. Let me check again." Wu Chen continued, "Now that I think about it, Ding Duanlong is really too much. His sister just got back and he already dumped a ton of responsibilities on her. What do you think? Isn't Ding Duanlong being a bit unreasonable?" Even as Wu Chen kept mentioning Ding Duanlong's name, the other man stayed silent, though he couldn't hide the sharp eyes of Wu Chen. When the lower part of his body kept reacting, Wu Chen was stunned, thinking, "It moved again, just as I thought. So it's true. This guy, Oh Sing-long." At this point, his face was turning brighter and brighter, as hot as if he could fry an egg on it. It became clear that the person he truly liked wasn't Ding Yingji, but actually Ding Duanlong. Having come to this realization, Wu Chen's face twisted with disgust. He no longer wanted to stand there dealing with Oh Sing-long. He just wanted to leave, the further the better. But if he wanted to pursue Ding Duanlong, these two Longs would probably be a pair of inseparable partners. After discovering that Oh Sing-long was a real gay guy with dreams of partnering up with Ding Duanlong to dominate every position, Wu Chen grinned dangerously and thought, I can't believe Ding Duanlong is so popular. It's not the women who like him, but a lot of guys do. Maybe I can trick him. Wu Chen quickly pulled out his phone and said, "It's not easy for you, huh? A talent like yours, yet you have to stay in the background because of the Ding family. Such a waste, really." As he spoke, he typed a message to his sister. "And Huang, can you help me make a fake gay photo of Ding Duanlong? The more realistic, the better. I need it urgently." For the first time, someone acknowledged Wu Xinglong's talent, and he shyly replied, "Ding Yingxi has done a lot for me. Whatever I do, I just want to repay her kindness." Wu Chen kept pushing. "Come on, man, there's no one else here. You don't have to pretend anymore. Ding Yingxi told me everything." Wu Xinglong became slightly suspicious, but still kept his cool and smiled faintly. "Ha ha, what could she possibly tell you? A joke? Don't talk nonsense." Facing the suspicious young man, Wu Chen only forced a faint smile, but inside, he was completely stressed out. Sweat was dripping down, and he just hoped his sister could hurry up and send the edited photo. Suddenly, the ping of a message came through, and Wu Chen immediately felt a huge sense of relief. Finally, it had arrived, but as soon as he opened it, his eyes widened in shock. He thought, "Holy shit, all I needed was a simple photo." Instead, I got a full 5-minute video with a clear HD shot of the guy's face, no filters, no edits, nothing. Little sister, this is totally your thing, right?" Wu Chen showed the phone to the young man next to him. "Take a look at this, and you'll see if what I'm saying is true or not." Wu Xinglong's face went blank with disbelief. On the screen was a video of Ding Duanlong, now reduced to a mere boss character by someone else. Meanwhile, another unfamiliar person was enthusiastically taking over the role of the top player. Wu Chen, seeing the stunned look on his face, smirked and asked, "So how do you feel now? Anything else you want to say?" Wu Xinglong, seeing his dream crush and his idealized vision of their school days completely ruined by someone else, broke down and cried bitterly. Wu Chen stood there, looking completely stunned, his mind frozen as if it were loading, unable to comprehend if he was still in the human world. Wu Xinglong, crying uncontrollably, could barely stand, but his inner pain was screaming. At first, he hadn't said anything like this to me. How could this happen? Did he really betray me for someone else? Seeing the situation spiraling, Wu Chen quickly tried to calm him down. "No way, man. Are you all right? Just take a breath. Calm down." Wu Xinglong rushed to grab his leg, shouting in desperation, "Didn't you say I'd be the first man in his life? Damn it, Ding Yingxi, she lied to me. She promised she would protect him." Wu Chen finally understood. So, that's what was going on. He spoke up, "Actually, Ding Yingxi lied to me too. I was originally Ding Duanlong's personal bodyguard, but she rearranged things to gain more power. They moved me elsewhere. That's when I got this video. I'm sorry." The moment Wu Xinglong heard those two words, "I'm sorry," he stopped, looked up, and asked, "What did you just say?" Wu Chen immediately reached out to stop him and said, "I can't just stand by and watch Ding Yingxi treat Boss Ding like this. I have to save him. Brother, now that your spy identity is exposed, how about we?" With a tight, determined fist, Wu Xinglong's face showed a clear resolve for revenge. He continued, "No need to say more. I'll confess, but before that, I need to make Ding Yingxi pay." The scene shifted to the next day, in the VIP parking lot of Ding Duanlong's company building. Ding Yingxi stepped out of the car, her long, pale legs and confident stride showcasing the image of a capable female CEO. From a distance, a familiar voice called out as she closed the car door, "Ding Yingxi." Hearing the familiar call, she turned around, a mix of confusion and caution on her face. When she saw who it was, she was surprised and asked sharply, "Wu Xinglong, is it really you? What are you doing here? Didn't we agree not to meet again for a while after we handled that situation?" But all she got in return was a cold, piercing stare. He spoke firmly. That was the deal. "You promised me you'd keep your word." Ding Yingxi, confused, asked, "Huh? What did you say?" Xinglong, on the verge of tears, shouted, "Stop pretending. What did you do to Ding Duanlong in your fight for power? I've been nothing but loyal to you, and you still tricked me." Seeing him act so wildly, she was a bit startled and replied, "What are you losing your mind over? I don't have time for your nonsense. I'm not going to argue with you like this." This only made him even angrier. Xinglong threw his hat down and yelled, "I'm crazy, huh? Yeah, that's right. I'm crazy now. I shouldn't have liked Long. If I didn't, I wouldn't have helped the Ding family with their mess. But you just threw it all away for your so-called false accusations against me. I even used all my connections with foreign spies. It feels like this idiot is about to lose control and do something to me." Ding Yingxi stayed calm and tried to reassure him. "Xinglong, stop talking about this here. Calm down, okay? Let's lower our voices and talk this through." Xinglong's attitude softened a little, and he replied, "That guy, Wu. I don't even know what he looks like, and he's already making a move. Yeah, I have issues, I know. I can see that his spirits were gradually improving, and he was now using emotional tactics with both hands. Xinglong, please calm down. I think there's been a huge misunderstanding between us. This isn't how it's been before. How about this? Why don't you go home first? I'll come find you later and explain everything clearly. Oh Xinglong looked back at her with the sad eyes of a Luvisic guy and responded, I can't go home anymore. After saying that, he turned and walked away. Ding Yingji still didn't understand what the hell was going on. She only called out his name, Xinglong, but it was at least less of a headache than letting him keep making a scene here. She also turned and left, but her gaze lingered behind him, filled with deep thoughts. A moment later, the scene shifted outside. Oh Xinglong was walking slowly, step by step. Waiting for him was a National Special Forces team standing there in anticipation. Ning Chen was leading them and immediately showed her ID. Her man then rushed toward Oh Xinglong, aggressively trying to seize him. He was quickly subdued by the security team, but didn't fight back at all. His face slowly lost all emotion, becoming completely blank. A wave of memories hit him, bringing back the high school days. The sound of punches landing along with cruel taunts echoed in his mind. Ha ha, let's beat him up. Guides. Back then, I could only take it and couldn't fight back. Let's kill this weakling. They seemed to take pride in having someone to use as a punching bag. Ao Xinglong could only cover his pre-face, the rest of his body being fair game. At that moment, Ding Duanlong appeared and said, Hey, you all better leave. Then Duanlong pushed one of the bullies away. After sending them off, the bullies quickly realized they couldn't handle this person and turned around, fleeing with their heads down. Ao Xinglong, who hadn't clearly seen the stranger's face, asked, Excuse me, who are you? Why are you helping me? The stranger turned toward him, his voice calm and warm as he replied, My name is Ding Duanlong. You're too kind and always get taken advantage of. I couldn't just stand by. Anyway, I've done what I came here to do. You should head home now. In that moment, Oh Xinglong realized he felt something different, something new, and his heart beat faster as he looked at the person standing before him. Back in the present, he smiled to himself, thinking, ha ha ha. Back then, he didn't even ask for my name. He sighed and added, I guess this little story ends here. It's making me a bit embarrassed now. Meanwhile, Ning Chen, after capturing the leader of the anti-government group, reported to her superiors, We've successfully captured the suspect in the espionage case. We'll take them to the investigation agency as soon as possible. That's all. A few days later, the scene shifts to Ding Yingji's office, where she's on the phone with someone. Her voice sounds soft and gentle. I need your help with someone named Wu Chen because of my brother. On the other end of the line, it's Oh Xinglong. His tone is flat, without much emotion, as he simply responds, Got it. Leave it to me. Ding Yingji replies, I'll send you a photo later. Xinglong's voice comes through, filled with a hint of annoyance. No need for the photo. Just send me the money and the address. I'm too lazy to look at pictures, afraid they'll just make me feel miserable. Ding Yingji, taken aback by his response, can't find the right words to say. She hears the line go dead as he hangs up immediately. A little later, as she's about to press the elevator button at Ding Duanlong's company office, she reflects on her conversation with Oh Xinglong. She usually feels confident, but today something feels off. From behind, Wu Chen's voice calls out warmly, Hey, cousin Ding Yingji, where are you headed? Hearing that voice, she instinctively wants to avoid him as if he were a ghost. Her face darkens as she thinks to herself, Great, this is exactly the last person I wanted to see right now. He's like an annoying spirit that won't leave. Wu Chen noticed that his cousin wasn't reacting, so he leaned in intentionally and whispered a few teasing words. Cousin, you should turn things around. Your talents shouldn't be wasted on Ding Duanlong. Ding Yingji responded coldly. What I do is none of your business. Wu Chen just laughed, clearly excited. Well then, let me tell you this. Accusing me of being a spy was going a bit too far. Ao Xinglong has already been arrested, so the game should end here. Hearing this, Ding Yingji seemed momentarily stunned, but she still calmly replied, Oh, I don't understand what you're talking about. Enough with the nonsense. Wu Chen, with a teasing grin, pushed further. What do you mean by game over? Besides Oh Xinglong, are there other pawns of yours? Just saying this made Ding Yingji flinch as she quickly thought, Gao Chengho, has he been exposed too? He's the one who bombed Wu Chen that night in the underground parking lot. Wu Chen added, honestly, cousin Gao Chenghu was just a reporter trying to break a big story, and somehow she managed to get him on her side. I have to admit, she's pretty good. When she found out Gao Chenghu started investigating Ding Duanlong's company, she had no choice but to step in and stop him herself. He then raised his hand to block the way, effortlessly pushing Ding Yingji against the wall to apply pressure. The younger woman only grumbled, unable to say anything in return. Wu Chen observed her expression with interest. I know you're probably wondering how I know all this, right? He said. Yeah, I can't think of anyone other than me who could have blown the whole thing wide open. And why were the others so indifferent? Of course, I had someone keeping an eye on Gao Chengho. That night, during the rain, there was a girl, drenched to the bone, lying right in front of his door. Gao Chengho, a man who hadn't touched a woman in years, couldn't just ignore that. It was perfect timing. He stepped outside and found her. The way they met might seem like fate, but in reality, it's an old trick that'll highly effective. When he brought her back to his place, he was careful with every little detail. At that time, because he was so embarrassed, he probably didn't even dare to look at her, not even for a second. Meanwhile, she took the chance to slip the magic potion into her drink. After drinking the water, it was like she was thanking him for helping her with the rainstorm. The next morning, when she woke up, everything was already set. Gao Chenghu was still confused, not understanding what had happened. He just found himself and her lying naked together on the same bed. Thinking he had done something wrong, he quickly knelt down to apologize, fearing he had crossed the line. But little did he know, behind her panic and fear, there was a devious smile on her face, ready to manipulate him using any means necessary. Ding Yinji immediately objected. That's nonsense. You're really making things up. Do you really think I'd be the kind of person to do that? Wu Chen responded, I'm making things up? Then why don't you ask yourself why Gao Chenghu has no memory of being with you? Of course, he thought it was strange too, so that day he went to see a psychologist. But the truth was, nothing had happened between them, not a one-night stand or anything. Moreover, there were still traces of sleeping pills in his blood, which proved it. But he had genuinely fallen for her the moment he saw her. He really wanted to be with her, which is why he willingly agreed to work for her. As for how I know all this, you understand better than anyone. Just throw money at it, and nothing's impossible to find out. And if money's not enough, there's always more money to be had. After all, Mr. Wu has a wealthy and powerful older brother like Mr. Lai. Wu Chen asked with a smug smile, so, what now? Do you have anything left to say, cousin? By this point, everything had come to light, and she had nothing more to hide, so she replied, yes, to defeat Lai Rubing, I did use a few tricks. The people who received the bomb threat warnings were either close to Lai Rubing or had an impact on my brother's business. So what? You don't have any direct evidence to accuse me, and you can't stop me. No one can stop me. Seeing her smug smile, Wu Chen responded, oh, really? No one can, huh? He casually pressed the elevator button and the doors opened. Ding Yinji, who had been forced to lean against him the whole time, lost her balance and stumbled backward like a falling tree. But Wu Chen didn't want to see a woman get hurt, so he quickly steadied her by supporting her waist and asked, not even Ding Duanlong can stop you. Ding Yinji shouted loudly, huh? Him? I don't care about any of you. What he wants to see is Lai Rubing kneeling down, begging him. Wu Chen replied, I understand Ding Duanlong better than anyone else. He doesn't care about other people's lives or deaths, but what he does care about is himself. She angrily shoved him aside and snapped, stop pretending to understand my man. Wu Chen, with a confident smile, gestured for her to join his team. She really was something so clever and calculating, yet still managed to keep her hands clean. It's just a shame her opponent is me. Maybe she should just come with me. I could train her all over again. Before the elevator door closed, seeing the provocative look on his face, Yingji felt her blood boil even more and shouted, get lost, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Once the door closed, Wu Chen just gave a small smile. It was true. Good advice is hard to hear. Inside, Yingji stood frozen like a statue, her hands clenched tightly as if showing her fierce determination. It didn't matter if he knew everything. What could he do to her? It was all for Duanlong. As long as she could defeat Lai Rubing, she would marry him. The more she thought about it, the more excited she became, repeatedly calling his name in her mind. Duanlong, he loves me. With a burst of excitement, she rushed to Duanlong's office, slammed the door open, spread her arms wide, and flashed a smile as bright as a flower. She was ready to deliver the good news. Ding Duanlong's gaze at her was dark and sharp. His frustration was clearly visible. He angrily shoved the phone in her face and asked, did you do this? On the hot search, the top headline was a shocking one. Top CEO Ding Duanlong is gay. Right below it was another headline, just as intense, and in third place, Ding Duanlong's company has secret ties to foreign powers. Ding Yinji was completely taken aback and responded, aren't you going to listen to my explanation? Ding Duanlong, face in his hands, looked helpless. He pushed her away and snapped, go. I don't want to see you. Get out of my sight right now. No one understood Duanlong better than Wu Chen. Truly, they were like brothers. A little while later, after being kicked out of her brother's company, Ding Yingji was packing her things in her room. She must have been feeling incredibly down after being hit with such a harsh blow. After all the effort she put in, everything had turned to dust. I remember back then, she tried to justify the mistakes and misunderstandings. She would say, "I thought that," but Ding Duanlong had lost all patience. The pressure from public opinion on him was just too much. He said, "But you've been involved with foreign spies. I have no choice but to cut ties with you." When she heard the words "cut ties," Ding Yingji's heart shattered. It was time to pick up her suitcase and leave. The dream of a relationship with Ding Duanlong was completely destroyed. Everything had just been a false, empty dream, like a fleeting, unrealistic fantasy. She slowly started accepting that maybe human strength really does have its limits. She glanced at a photo taken at her college graduation, filled with hopes for a bright future when she returned home. It seemed like the time had come for her to leave. Tears welled up in Ding Yingji's eyes. She tried to comfort herself. Once she accepted the truth, the sadness seemed to lessen, even if just a little. Suddenly, a voice broke the heavy silence. "Is it true that you're really leaving?" When Wu Chen showed up in her house as if it were his own, she froze, unable to say a word. "Hey, what are you doing here?" she asked. Wu Chen didn't seem to care much. He picked up a photo of hers and said, "But honestly, compared to being dull, you really are more suited to shining." Ding Yingji was annoyed. She snaps the photo back and snapped, "Don't just touch other people's things." Wu Chen, encouraged by her reaction, threw in a few teasing words. "On the outside, you seem angry, but deep down, you want people to see your shining moment, don't you?" She knew she couldn't argue with him, so she simply replied, "Huff, what do you know?" "You say, I don't know." Wu Chen shot back, "But look at your reaction, cousin. You look more embarrassed than angry. Besides being a so-called expert in relationships, are you also a human behavior analyst now?" she retorted. Feeling defeated, she just kept folding her clothes to pack into the suitcase, unable to argue because his words hit too close to home. Wu Chen, clearly enjoying himself, laughed out loud. "Ha ha, did I hit a nerve? Now you're too shy to even look me in the eye, huh?" Ding Yingji, having had enough of his teasing, threw out a different question in response. "You're really something. You barged into my house, grabbed my stuff, and kept teasing me. Wu Chen, what exactly do you want?" He gave a calm response. "I've told you many times already, I want you to leave the darkness behind and step into the light. Your talent shouldn't be buried under Ding Duanlong's influence. You don't need to follow him anymore. You're free to fully develop your real abilities now. Do you understand what I mean?" She reacted strongly, standing up and speaking sharply. "I remember everything you said, and the truth is, you are indeed stronger than I am. Is that enough? Are you satisfied now? What else do you want from me?" He stepped closer and replied, "Nothing at all. I just really admire your talent." Looking directly into his eyes, Ding Yingji was taken aback, her cheeks suddenly turning pink. She thought, "No man has ever looked at me like this before. He's not lying. He really does admire my talent." Feeling a little shy, Ding Yingji said, "Stop it. I ended up like this because of you. I lost, and now I'm just someone no one needs, so I'm planning to leave. I want to travel." He whispered in her ear, his voice somewhat tender, "Is it all because of me? Then how should I make it up to you?" Upon hearing this, she widened her eyes as if she understood his intentions. Without saying much, she turned toward the bed, suddenly climbing up onto it and facing Wu Chen with her body. He stood with his hands in his pockets, curious to see what she was up to. Then she spoke. "You once said you wanted to train me, so why are you just standing there? The plane doesn't take off for another 5 hours, and I'm still not convinced. If that's the case, come on then, show me what you got." It was the first time Wu Chen had ever been challenged by a woman. How could he let that slide? He reached down to adjust the patterned fabric on her dress, doing something with it before adding a few more words. "Your mouth is tough, but your body knows how to cooperate, doesn't it?" Ding Yingji immediately felt her whole body heat up, responding, "Stop talking nonsense." Seeing her still talking back, Wu Chen's enthusiasm only grew stronger, more determined. "You know better than anyone, whether it's nonsense or not." A firm movement turned her around to face him. His hands held her steadily, his gaze unyielding. Ding Yingji hesitated and said, "Wait, you can't do this," yet her body gave no indication of pulling away. She resisted, but just barely, like a soft breeze. Wu Chen smiled faintly, his tone a mix of teasing and seriousness. "I'm afraid you might miss your flight in 5 hours. His words held an air of certainty, as if he already knew what would happen next. Even the most determined would eventually soften under Wu Chen's steady persistence. Time and again, Ding Yingji could only tremble slightly, her previously strong demeanor now quieted. "Stop. I've already been through this," she murmured, her voice carrying a hint of frustration. Yet Wu Chen showed no sign of stopping, his words a calm reminder. This is the time for focus. No distractions, no breaking the rules. Ding Yingji bit her lip, choosing to remain silent, accepting the situation with quiet resignation. After 6.5 hours of studying and spelling intensely, Ding Yingji lay down, her arm over her forehead, exhausted. She had missed her flight because of it. It was all his fault. What a jerk. Now she couldn't even move. Wu Chen pulled out an alarm clock and replied, "Flights are available every day, but a teacher like me. You won't get this kind of lesson every day. Break time is almost over, by the way." After listening to Wu Chen lecture for 6.5 hours, and now he wanted to add even more, Ding Yingji was stunned. "Huh? You really don't keep going?" she asked, shocked. Wu Chen eagerly answered like a starving wolf. "Before it was just the lesson, now it's review time. Get ready, my dear." Wu Chen went back to enthusiastically teaching the mouthy Ding Yingji. She was probably going to be stuck there for a few more hours before she could leave. The next day, the room was a complete mess with things scattered everywhere. Ding Yingji, exhausted, quickly ran out, muttering to herself, "Oh my god, how can you lecture for a whole day and night? No wonder you only got minor injuries when a bomb went off. I'm about to lose my mind." She quickly put her clothes back on. No, I really have to go now. I have an appointment with a friend in Switzerland." Wu Chen asked in a serious tone, "When will you be back?" She scoffed. He was already asking when she'd be back before she even left. "Well then, just wait. When I'm ready, I'll come back and we'll continue this fight." Wu Chen wasn't sure if she meant a battle of wits or a physical fight in the classroom, but he confidently replied, "I'm always ready." A little while later, Wu Chen drove her to the airport in his sports car. After seeing the plane take off safely, he received a phone call. "Hello, Captain Ning. What's going on?" A sharp voice came from the other end. "Come back here." Wu Chen instinctively looked back and saw Ning Chen's car right by the side of the road. They exchanged glances and he was at a loss for words. Ning Chen, looking frustrated, spoke again. "Your cousin's plane has already taken off. Now you can come here." Wu Chen smiled awkwardly and replied, "Captain Ning, you know everything, don't you? I almost dressed like I'm not wearing anything, and I really don't feel comfortable with that." On the other end, Ning Chen was dressed in a revealing chumsum, showing off her long, fair legs. She said, "You'll get used to it. The organization is watching you, which means they're giving you an opportunity." Wu Chen replied, "Well, I guess I should thank the organization. So, what do you want me to do this time?" At that moment, Wu Chen quickly ran over to Ning Chen's car to sit, as she had invited him, and they continued discussing the main issue. "Let's get straight to the point. The information Og Singlong provided is related to a special case. A citizen of our country went missing 2 years ago," Ning Chen said. He was excited and let out a sound of realization. "So, we've got a big fish now, huh?" Ning Chen continued, "You could say that, but the problem is that it involves a third country." As soon as she mentioned this, Wu Chen's expression shifted, sensing that the situation was serious. He responded, "So, what do you want me to do?" Ning Chen replied, "This can't be done publicly or officially, or it might lead to an international dispute. As for you, since you're not officially part of the government, At this point, Wu Chen gestured for her to stop, his face showing some reluctance. He said, "All right, I understand. I'll take on the case." Seeing that he understood everything so clearly and had accepted the case without hesitation, Ning Chen felt reassured. "I'll contact you when everything is set. Oh, and by the way, Swan Tai might also need your help. Looks like a man in demand is always busy." Getting a sarcastic remark, he could only laugh and respond, "Ha ha, I need to get Swan Tai running smoothly first. It's been a while since I've been back there." Ning Chen said coldly, almost pushing him out. "All right, you can go now. Once I finish with my family stuff, I'll reach out to you again." Wu Chen just looked at her with a skeptical glance, wondering if he had somehow turned into just another cog in her high-powered machine. A little later, Wu Chen arrived in his older sister's company. As he walked, he was on the phone handling some tasks that required her cooperation. "I send everything via email. Make sure you keep track of the timing." Meanwhile, and Huang, eating pizza, replied casually, "Okay, looks like there's a new game to play." Opening the office door, Wu Chen cheerfully called out to his wife, "Ru Bing, I'm exhausted." He saw his wife sitting at her desk, tired, and she responded wearily, "You're here?" Like a diligent and caring husband, he walked over and started massaging her shoulders and neck. The Ding family business was in trouble, with the people who had been faking Swan Tai products scattered. Right now, the only issue left was the internal document leak. With no leads, suddenly his wife jumped, exclaiming 2 words in shock. "What's that?" Wu Chen casually borrowed his sister's computer, typed something, and then said, "I've already finished investigating this a long time ago." On my way here, I sent a highly confidential email that can only be opened from within Swan Thai Corporation. Rubing, just wait for the results. Sister Lai immediately focused all her attention on the screen, so much so that she didn't even blink. On it were conversations from employees of the company, and they were getting ready to collaborate strategically with illicit. "Oh, I'm taking the afternoon off to relax," one of them said. "Tonight, Mr. Wu is coming for a big meeting, but it's a shame we don't have the specific plans yet. Otherwise, I'd be able to prepare better." "What are you preparing for?" "We're going to have to work overtime again, like we always do lately." "Quiet down, will you? If CEO Lai or Mr. Wu hears you, we're in trouble. You still want to keep your job?" Sister Lai asked the head of the purchasing department, Jiang Ming, is she a spy for the Ding family? He reassured her, "Hold on, darling, just wait and see." Then on the screen, the image of Jiang Ming appeared. The way she looked so uneasy and nervous clearly showed she was up to something shady. Wu Chen analyzed. "Yeah, especially with her fingers lightly tapping on the table unconsciously, that's a classic sign of tension." Next to her, the assistant immediately held her stomach and spoke up. "CEO Lai, excuse me. I need to use the restroom for a moment." But just as she was about to slip away, Wu Chen stopped her with a simple pat on the shoulder, causing the assistant to break into a cold sweat. He spoke. "Right now, I recommend you hold it in." Lai glanced over at him, her expression thoughtful. There's definitely something wrong. Wu Chen added, "I've synced up with Jiang Ming's computer screen. Let's watch what she's doing." She replied, "The evidence is clear. I won't let her off the hook." Suddenly, Jiang Ming appeared to be struggling with herself. "Wait a minute." "Ru Ping, look." She stopped. The two of them focused intently, watching her actions, which seemed incredibly confusing. Jiang Ming had her head down, as if deeply conflicted. Wu Chen spoke quietly but with depth. "In the end, she's decided not to leak the top secret information. Even if she wanted to, she couldn't send it out. And Huang has already adjusted Swan Thai's network settings. Now it's only capable of receiving, not sending." Lai immediately got angry and was about to rush down to confront the situation. Although she had just regained some sense of conscience and stopped herself earlier, she couldn't easily let go of what had happened before. He quickly held her and tried to calm her down. "Ruping, calm down. Don't get upset. We still need to wait a little longer. The real drama hasn't even started yet." About 10 minutes later, the assistant, who was sitting on the side, was sweating profusely and looked like she was afraid of something. Wu Chen turned to her and mocked, "Are you planning to answer here, or are you going to go into the bathroom and reply from there?" "Oh, wait, you can't even send anything outside from the bathroom now." Upon hearing this, her eyes widened in shock and her face turned dark. Lai Rubing extended her hand and commanded, "Give me the phone, let me see." "Hurry up." On her phone, there was a message from someone named Wang Zhaoxin. "Honey, why can't you open that top secret file?" She replied, "I've already informed them. They're waiting." The message from Wang Zhaoxin continued, "Is that Zhang woman hesitating again? Forget about that fool, just do it yourself. What time are you off today? I'll be waiting in room 1606 at the Royal Hotel. Call a little earlier." After reading this, Lai Rubing had no more words to say. She just felt a heavy, dark atmosphere around her. She immediately became angry and stormed over, shouting, "I've guided you from being an intern all the way to now, trusted you so much, always keeping you by my side, and yet you dared to betray me." Afraid that she might get physical, Wu Chen quickly pulled her back and said, "Rubing, she's just a normal girl. It's easy to get caught up in love, and that's understandable. If anyone is to blame, it's that guy Wang Zhaoxin from the marketing department. He's really good at flirting." She responded, "Humph, speaking of that Wang guy, he's definitely a marketing expert. I never treated him unfairly." He then showed her something on his phone. One side displayed a salary of 80,000, the other side, 8 million. "Ding Yingji and Ding Duan really invested in taking you down." She sighed, looking frustrated and disheartened. "One ungrateful person after another. Is my life just a failure?" Wu Chen tried to comfort her. "Don't blame yourself like that. Jiang Ming finally chose to give up, remember? Your kindness to them wasn't wasted. Not everyone just looks at money." The assistant beside her quickly knelt down. "I was wrong. I won't do it again." Lai ignored her and didn't even look at her as she spoke coldly. "I even let her stay late with us. Honey, forget about Jiang Ming, but I don't want to see her again. Send her to Southeast Asia for online distribution and deal with Wang Zhaoxin for me." Seeing that things were tense, Wu Chen could only smile and nod. "Got it." The woman cried and clung to Lai Rubing, begging her, "I don't want to go to Southeast Asia. I don't want to be a sexy dealer. Please let me stay with you. I'm willing to work like a horse for you for the rest of my life. Lai CEO, please give me a chance to make up for my mistakes." Lai Rubing grew more and more irritated. Once something happens once, it happens again, and then again, and again. Finally, with a loud shout, she ordered, "Get out of my sight." That evening, knowing that Lai Ru-bing had been through a tiring series of days, Wu Chen was helping her with psychological therapy, relieving her stress as they relaxed on the bed. After everything was done, he said, "Let me help you relax a bit." It wasn't clear what kind of special treatment this was, but Lai Ru-bing's whole body was trembling. She had responded, "Honey, you've worked hard today. I want a few more rounds to forget all the bad things." The two of them exchanged a loving look in the romantic atmosphere. He replied, "All right, I'll do my best to give you a few more." Proving his word, Wu Chen grabbed her hand tightly and shifted to a new position. Lai Ru-bing felt much lighter than before. She guessed and immediately said, "I don't need to know where you worked so hard yesterday, but today you need to work 10 times harder with me." Wu Chen just smiled. Nothing ever escaped his wife's sharp eyes, but if you underestimated him, you'd have to pay the price. Lai Ru-bing found herself being pulled into even more intense action, gasping for breath, calling out loudly, "Wu Chen!"